What's up, dude?
Man.
Thanks for coming in.
Hey, I appreciate you having me again.
Bro, first we were at your spot, now you're at my spot.
Now I get to come check your
We're kind of
walls
like
out.
flexing on each other, but like this is my new spot, this is yours.
I can dig it.
Dude, it's been a while.
Yes, it has.
I know, man. It sucks this year. Like, it was funny is like maybe a month ago or 2 months ago, I got like a thing on Facebook. It was like donating shoes to you, and I'm like, dang, it's already been a year.
It's been a year. We wanted to do it again this year, but I just wasn't sure how folks were gonna be with passing stuff on and how can we still be a benefit to the community. That's always gonna be one of our number one things. In the midst of all of this, right? That's really what we're trying to create is community and just a presence, man. Like we're here for everybody, regardless if you're an athlete, if you're normal, if you're trying to lose weight, or you just want something to like come to and be a part of. That's really what we've been trying to kind of create.
For sure. Well, I definitely know who you are, but why don't you let everyone know who you are?
So I am Adam Wright, owner of Animal House Fitness. Man, what else can we say? But father, husband, coach, all of those things. Just trying to be the best human that we could possibly be on a day-to-day basis. But the ultimate journey is really to work with these kids and kind of create a joy for movement. Build sound humans, and if they need to be athletes, we turn them into athletes. But first and foremost, be a good person, love well, and promote just good vibes. Yeah,
that's funny you bring that up. I was having a meeting with someone the other day, and his son's like, I think 10 now or 11. He plays baseball like so much. It's like, oh, how's he doing? He's like, he's kind of come burned out. And I said, listen, dude. I said, it doesn't matter how much he plays now. If he's 5'5" and slow, he don't got a chance.
Correct.
If he's 6'4" and powerful, he has a chance.
He's got a shot.
If he's 6'1" and fast and has power, he's going to the big leagues.
Absolutely, he's making it.
I don't think that's like the one thing I'm like, dude, he's 11.
Yes.
We
got to remember that. I actually just kind of started a class where I've been getting a lot of folks that just want their kids to be active. They're not necessarily, performance driven or doing it for a specific sport. The kids are not in school, so they're not running around and having the opportunities to just kind of burn through calories. So we've started these classes where we're just trying to create a good relationship with moving. You know what I mean? You don't have to do it because you're going to play baseball or, start playing baseball at 8 and do it until you're 36. That's not the point. The point is to kind of create these moments where you and I got to play tag as kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And we got to play tag. And I guarantee you, if we sat here and looked at a group of kids playing tag, you and I could pick the athletes.
For sure.
Just off of how they play tag.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like that, where is that? Where's the games? Where's all that type of stuff? So really that's been our focus, is kind of bring back that joy for just doing a bunch of different stuff. If you play baseball, by all means, you play baseball. You're going to practice baseball a hell of a lot more throughout the year than you're going to practice any other sport. But what's the problem with going out there and experiencing these other sports? You might pick something up that you didn't know, and you got to use a different type of muscle and learn a different movement pattern. It's been a huge deal making sure that these kids just stay active and get out of their rooms, get off the tablets.
Well,
and sweat a little bit.
I think we're gonna see in the future, and I'm guessing right now, but it's like we didn't have those growing up. Now we kind of see kids on so much tablets. I think it's gonna be a reverse mode. Like I think people are starting to realize like that's not good.
No,
it's bad for them. And I think when these people become parents or whatever, or young adults, like people are gonna be like, dude, they have some major issues. Because I don't care what anyone says. That's why you're good at what you do, even though you're an amazing coach, and I'm good at it's like you still got to communicate with people.
Absolutely so.
And when you're trying to communicate, like there's nothing that pisses me off when I cannot talk to someone on the phone when I'm trying to talk to a company to solve a problem. They're like, email us. I'm like, ugh,
no,
I don't want to email.
I want to hear a voice.
I want to hear a voice, and I want to talk the problem out.
For sure.
And so I think I'm starting to see more parents like, dude, you got to get off the tablet. You got to get off the video games.
For sure.
Because we only had Super Nintendo and Nintendo, so it wasn't
they didn't keep our attention as long as these videos and kind of movies.
Well, I think YouTube. I mean, even as an adult, sometimes I'm like, God, I've been watching YouTube for like 2 hours.
Sure.
Like, what am I doing?
You go down a rabbit hole.
You go down a rabbit hole.
And I've kind of had a different relationship because my son is a super E-driven kid. Their whole life, the twins have had tablets and computers in front of their faces. But we have to understand that there is a certain level of like cerebral activity that's going on there. So it's not all the way bad.
No.
But if we can kind of stimulate it with a little bit of movement or something that gets them off of that where they're not thinking at all, it's good stuff. You know,
that's why I like the Wii back in the day.
Yeah,
you know, they had the sports and you made a move and do that. That stuff is actually really awesome. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And some of the schools and colleges nowadays are using these tablets because these kids are programmed for that. They're digital natives. Their whole life they've lived on a computer, on a tablet. They know how to navigate it. So when this world of school went to like Zoom, Zayden is helping teachers out because he knows how to communicate in that realm. Like he's okay with having a pair of headphones on, sitting in front of a computer and rocking school all day long. No problem. Other kids are sitting here probably pulling their hair out like, man, I need to get the hell out of this.
I got to move.
I need to go do something.
Yeah.
And so we just have to understand that all of these kids are kind of figuring it out. We as adults are trying to figure it out, and we want to be present as much as we possibly can. I think we've seen in the fitness world a lot of coaches just popping things up online. Boom, do this, try this out, check this out. What works, what doesn't work. I tried to do the Zoom thing. That's not my forte. Yeah. I want to feel people. I want to see people. I want to work with people. That's just the way I'm programmed and what I want to do. And so we all got to figure out what works well for us, adjust for the times, and make the best of it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, obviously, whoever's watching this future, it's February 2021. We're still in COVID.
Yes.
And, you know, how crazy, we do these podcasts to help people. Like, what was the feelings you were going through when you get that news of like, I got to shut down.
Yeah.
And what am I going to do? But you know what's interesting? We've said this before, and Adrian cut this at the beginning or whatever. It's like the best thing that came from this was everyone who made adjustments to survive.
Yes.
You know, the survival mode of humans and Americans. I don't know, but Americans
for sure
is, okay, this happened. What do we do?
How do we get through it?
How do we fix this? How do we change? Do we go Zoom? Do I do some training stuff? How do I do this? And so what was the thought process of what was going on in your head? You're, like you said, you're a husband, you're a husband, you're a dad. Our livelihoods for both of us are people, and when everyone says you can't see people, you're like, okay, what do I do here?
No, that was there were a couple of days where you just kind of find yourself motionless and overwhelmed at the fact that somebody could tell me you can't work today.
Yeah.
That's what I thrive off of. I love to show up every day and hustle. So it was really just kind of take a step back and figure out what's really going on. How serious is this thing? And how can we kind of figure out ways to still be here for some of our clients? Again, it wasn't about trying to find new people. It was just we had memberships sold.
Yeah.
Okay? And if I give those sessions or they bought those sessions, I need to render said sessions. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I felt. You're not going to buy something and then I'm not going to give it to you. So it was like, well, what are people willing to do to still feel like they're getting their value from me? So initially it was like, I'm in the gym every day. Yeah, I didn't have clients, but I was going to train and I was making videos and I was kind of like just being cognizant of the fact that people don't have all the stuff that I got at the facility. You know, so how can we sit here and utilize what we do have every day, our own body, in a manner that doesn't necessarily promote athletic gains, but at least maintains what we have built thus far. So that was a change, right? Our programming ideas had changed. Our delivery methods had changed. And just trying to cope with people's mentality that, look, this is all I got right now. We're all going through it. So nobody's over here just making leaps and bounds right now. Everybody's trying to just show up and be present today and kind of figure out all this uncertainty that was March 16th. You know what I'm saying? Like that was, I'll never forget the day because my son had a music concert downtown and they canceled his concert. I was like, wait a second, what is going on here? You know, and then the next thing we know, like, boom, everything shut down, closed gyms, closed restaurants, closed everything. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. And I've probably been in a facility for 5 months, 6 months. So it was already a big risk. And then now here comes this. And I was, overwhelmed is kind of an understatement. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there were times when I just didn't even want to get out of bed and kind of reminded myself, did I do the right thing? Yeah. Like, how do I get through this? Which I think are all normal, and I had to remind myself that it's okay to not have the answer right now today, Adam. Like that's fine, dude. Just show up and do what you can today, and let's see how things kind of sift and fall through. And again, just without our clients and without the coaches that I'm surrounded with. You know what I mean? Like Drew, Albie, Poylock, all these cats they're showing up, and their creativity inspired me to do certain things, and just everybody finding ways. And I was just so proud of everybody to figure out how to be there for their folks and make sure that they were, not just physically well, but mentally well.
Yeah.
Also.
I think the hard part is, obviously, we know the stats that a lot of people in America are obese, right? So a lot of them people do not do fitness.
Correct.
So it's hard for them to understand what fitness actually means to people.
Yes.
It's such a mental battle, right? Like, it's one, you're sacrificing so much, right? And then during this time, you're like, okay, I can't see anyone. I'm getting shut down. All my gains are going sideways. Gone. I mean, I've lost gains a long time ago, so I've coped with that by now, right? But then it's like, okay, like, maybe that's what I do when I'm stressed. Maybe that's what I do as my thing. I mean, I think that what you just said, I wish everyone could know forever, right? Is that you weren't doing it alone. You were doing it with your clients. You were doing it with your coaches. Correct. And being around your coaches and showing up every day, it's like, okay, what else can we be doing?
Absolutely.
And I think that's the thing that people that don't succeed try to do it on their own, and it's like, you just can't, dude.
No way.
Like right now with this, even now, like we're hopefully on the back end of this.
For sure.
But things are going to change forever.
They are.
They're going to change. So how do you make adjustments to that changing, and to try to be the person, like, that's something I struggle with in my industry, where I'm like, okay, who can I talk to that I can feed off of, to not even, like, I don't need ideas from you, just like start talking, and then maybe I'll think of something.
Go.
Yeah, let me think of something, and then you say something.
I love the community aspect of it. I think that's what we're all searching for, is an opportunity to be our authentic selves, but at the same time know that there's somebody that's rooting for us as well. You know what I mean? And within the walls right now at the facility, that like everybody is pushing one another to be great and just go do the best that you possibly can today. There's no, competition amongst one another. Like we're trying to promote each other and make sure that we're there and pushing each other along to say, hey, look, this is what's possible. We can get this done. It's just the beginning. Yeah. Really. Like the beginning of new. I think that's what we can kind of dub it as, is we're all figuring out new stuff, and we're all going to be operating on a new wavelength, because that's just what's going to have to be required.
As much as it sucked, are you kind of happy you went through it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for a thing. I
feel the same way.
I wouldn't change it for a thing, because you know what? As a business owner, it's nice to like prove to yourself that you have the wherewithal to be rocked. Yeah. And for one, be scared as hell. Yep. And wake up and say, it's still worth it. Yeah. It's still worth it. I could easily go walk back to an environmental lab job, man.
Oh, for sure.
That, they didn't experience a single day of anything. You know what I'm saying? Thousands of samples every damn day. The same old monotonous task over and over. That could have easily been. And I was the first one I reached out to him.
Of course.
Absolutely so. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to make sure that my family is taken care of. And if I'm not earning at the level that I know I should be earning at, well, here's how I'm going to try to get
now we have to.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if this didn't bring the hustle out of you, then the hustle was never
there. Yeah.
It was never there. You know what I mean? So the hustle was not the issue. It was just, okay, well, like, let's face reality here. You know, I can't lie to myself. I'm going to sit here and tell myself exactly what the hell is going on. And if you're not making it, then you need to find a way to make it. Yeah. Period, point blank. That's what I ask my kids to do. That's what I ask my athletes to do. I have to be willing to do that on my own.
For sure. I think right now my dad's in my office and he's retired. But, you know, what people don't realize is, like, sometimes they look at probably your life on Instagram, they look at my life, and they're like, oh, you have such a fancy life. Perfect. Oh, perfect, and it's fancy. But, you know, something I've always talked about him is, like, the one thing I learned from my dad is that, dude, he worked every day, 6 days a week, every day at State Brothers for 39 years. Yes. He didn't give a crap if he was sick, tired, didn't feel like working. Correct. He stayed over. He's the manager. He had his thing. But I remember, I'll never forget, 2010, I'm driving down when I was in the minor leagues, got in at 4 a.m. after driving all night, and my dad's getting up, throwing his brown pants on and his white long sleeve shirt and the white sleeves and he was starting, and the tie. and he was like, and I remember looking at him and be like, I never want that. Yes. But he taught me to show up every day.
For sure.
Doesn't matter what you're doing. You got to show up every day.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter what job you do.
It's a job when you resent having to do it. But either way, we are fortunate to live something that we are truly passionate about. For sure. And probably wouldn't change it 10 times of COVID. You know, we would still do the same exact thing.
Well, COVID's the only reason I have this room.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't for COVID, I would never create a podcast room. I would have never made this podcast room.
Correct.
Because I was like, because we were going on spots, and I'm like, okay, we can't go anywhere now. So what do we do? And then I was trying to update people as much as possible going on the real estate market. Yes. I was like, where are we going to shoot that? Okay, we'll just shoot it in this room. Like,
absolutely. And it became it forced us to do some creative stuff.
Yeah.
We always were talking about we need time. We were always saying, oh, I wish I had the time to do this, or I wish I had the time to do that. Well, we got the time. A lot of us got the time. And some of us made the adjustments, and some of us didn't do what we should have been doing, and we're still trying to figure it out. But it gave us the opportunity to kind of figure out where we can create some side revenues, some different platforms, take a little pivot here. But it really has.
Are you guys trying to go more online now?
So I'm definitely trying to launch a like an online platform. Again, my thing is really trying to focus with the youth, okay? Educate the parents, educate the young kids on how to train effectively, progressions, how we start a kid out, taking a lot of this stuff that I got in my head and kind of being able to teach and share it. There were a bunch of coaches that just threw online programs for adults, but nobody's really doing much of the
and I feel like children's are harder too.
They're hard.
They're growing.
Yeah.
They, some of them don't have the ability to do things yet.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
And you got to be patient.
You got to be super patient with them.
You got to be super patient with these kids. At the end of the day, they have to have fun. You know, if they're not having a good time with it, then
because they don't care about abs.
They don't care about it.
No, they don't care about abs.
They want to look next to their little buddy and say, "Let's race."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kids don't like to suck.
Yeah, they want to win.
They want to win.
No one likes losing.
Nobody does.
I don't care
but
who
kids,
you are.
Really, there's just this, kind of naivety to them with regards to competition. Like, it's not malicious in a sense, but they're there to win.
They want to flex on people.
Absolutely.
100%.
All day. And so we just want to kind of nurture that and push that along. But there is a continuum that needs to kind of be understood. You can't just go right to the peak of the pyramid. You got to kind of work your way up through the building process. And it's important for the parents to understand that too. The parents sometimes are the ones pushing the kid to do it. And the kid has to kind of figure out why they're doing this, and it has to be theirs. Otherwise, when it does get hard and they don't want to do it anymore, well, there went a lot of time, there went a lot of effort. And the biggest thing for us is to kind of use these training environments and these tools to promote like the self-efficacy of themselves, right? Like, I believe in myself. They aren't afraid of situations where the success isn't necessarily guaranteed, but I'm still going to go out there and try my hardest. That's hard to kind of teach in today's day and age because a lot of them do hide behind computer screens and they don't face the reality of like, you weren't good enough, you didn't make it. Who's to blame for that? Is that me, or am I going to place this on somebody else?
Yeah.
And I think we all have to be able to point the finger to ourselves and say, look, I'm the reason that that I'm in this situation. We all have to own that. And if we can teach a kid that at 7 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, 13 years old, we build strong citizens, not just athletes. We build strong human beings that aren't afraid to tackle confrontation.
Because that person becomes a business owner, and then something like COVID happens, and they go,
and they got solutions.
I can get through this.
Yeah, they got solutions. They're not sitting here hiding in a corner. Like, they're okay to take something on and fail a few times and keep it pushing. But you have to have that self-belief, and you have to believe that you have done enough to earn these opportunities that are before you.
And I think people need to realize it's so much preparing that goes into it, right? It's not going to just happen overnight.
No way.
It's years and years and years. So then when something does happen, you're like, oh, okay, I know I can problem solve around that based on the experience I already have.
What I've done. Yes.
People talk to me, they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, dude, I've spent years now, thousands of hours reading articles and learning the market. So when you do talk to me, I'm like, okay, boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
But some of the conversations I remember having when I first started was like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, who would ever listen to me?
Correct.
Blind confidence. That's
the
only thing got.
You kept pushing.
Blind confidence. You show up every day.
And you've learned. And you can look back on Adam of 3 years ago.
For sure.
And be critical of that person.
Yeah. So how does it feel having more coaches in? When I first started, when we first met, you had like maybe one guy, but now you have Poilog, you have other guys.
Yes, it's been
what's
great.
the guy? Dude, he just followed me. He used to work at LA Fitness, kind of like black hair guy. He might be Mexican, really into yoga.
Yeah.
That's his name. Yeah.
Yeah, Albie.
Yeah. He's won yoga, like balance. I've seen him do some.
Maybe you're talking about Drew then.
Oh, Drew then.
Drew, yeah.
I know.
Coach Drew, Zoo Strength.
Yeah. Yes.
Zoo
Dude,
Strength.
I've seen that guy do more things when I work out at LA Fitness where I'm like,
Yeah.
holy, that guy is flexible.
All of it, man.
Balance.
He's really changed
He's
a
in
lot of how we go about things. And that's what I've loved the most about having these other dudes, man, is these cats are awesome human beings first, and then they're dope coaches. Like, they really are about their craft. And they, like I said, they've changed how I train within the year. Obviously, we got our little niches, but the way he goes about fixing bodies and kind of fine-tuning stuff, man, like, it's been such a joy to watch. And the dude is really special. Like, all of them are truly special. Coach Poylock, Coach Albie, they have really brought a dope energy to the space with their clients, just the love that people have for them. It's neat to see, like, what our place looks like nowadays. You know what I mean? When it's filled with,
when the stars align.
Energy. Absolutely, man.
Dude, I'm killing for
and
that. I'm looking at for right now.
Thought that was going to happen, and the beauty of it is it happened organically.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have to go out there and search for anybody. Like, I told you we put some Indeed ads out when we first launched, and it was like, ugh, no way. So to see it get populated with such cool cats has been anything. I couldn't have asked for it any better. You know what I mean? Quite honestly.
I think people don't realize when you run a business and you can get all the crew together, and it's like so magical. Yeah. It's like a car that's like brand new, running perfectly.
Just perfect.
Just like perfect. And there's nothing that car can't do. Correct. And then sadly, you're always searching for that.
Yes. What's crazy is that this is like my only reality that I've known. You know what I mean? Like, I went from doing this all on my own to having like 3 of the best people I could have ever asked for. You know what I'm saying? Like, really couldn't have asked for a better crew of folks. And now we get together, like my birthday, we got together with coaches, and Coach Albie's birthday, you know, our wives are getting together. It's been so
makes it fun.
See. It really does. Like, everybody is there. We want to see each other do well. Everybody wants to see each other.
I think people realize that it's like you're not competing against each other. There's so much out there.
Yeah.
When you really, like, deep down inside look at it, it's like, dude, we're
completely opposite ends of the spectrum with regards to, like, who we're working with. But even so, like, we can cross-train with one another. You know? And one of my goals when we first started this thing was to have, like, a educational environment where we can teach. And
you're talking about doing like classes and
Absolutely.
stuff. Yeah.
So we started doing a little bit of those, and we want to continue doing those. And once things kind of like open up again, like, we want to bring this knowledge to fellow coaches.
Yeah.
Because it's important. You know, if we have the opportunity to change people's lives through wellness, then it's our responsibility to kind of share what we know that works with everybody. This is not something that we're supposed to keep close to the chest, like, share. Yeah. Empower.
I wonder if more gyms like yours are going to open up, right? Like, obviously we've seen a big hit of big gyms, the LA Fitnesses, and like even self-mades are pretty big gyms, right? So nowadays it's like, I wonder if, like, less corporate, because, I mean, LA Fitness was never going to be able to open up because of corporate, right? Because of liability and whatever.
There's ways, there's no way case, and somebody was going to try to take them all the way down. So it's just not worth that. The liability.
And so I wonder if that's going to be like a new ongoing trend. It's like smaller gyms. I mean, like, luckily for your gym's big enough.
Yeah, 20. So we're like 2,500 square feet. Yeah, and that's kind of that is, I think, the new trend, the little boutique.
Yeah, like, boutique spot. Like, this is what I'm looking for, right? This is what I want to be.
Yep. And you're working with a coach. You're not just, you know, showing up and saying, hey, open gym. You know what I mean? Like, these are guided classes. These are guided sessions. And I think that's really how we've been able to kind of continue moving forward, is because we are providing a service for folks, and we're taking the guesswork out of people's journeys. You know, it is overwhelming. If you don't know anything about a gym and you walk into a corporate gym and there's 350 some odd people in there.
Well, and then there's that LA, you know, that the corporate, you know, trainer that you know nothing about.
Correct.
Has his gym, you know, as licensed, but or his certification or whatever, but not as focused on anything.
Absolutely.
And who knows what, like,
why are they doing this?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
why are you doing this? Yeah. And when you look at the model of the corporate gym from an earning aspect, it's tough to work hard when you know that, like, the gym is getting 60% of your efforts. I got to show up and do 100% of that work, and I give up 60% of my pay. That's hard, and that's not, you know, a real sound business model if you want people to really genuinely work hard for you. So I think when you do have the opportunity to kind of earn on your own and kind of create your own brand and do for you, then you find a bigger why, and your client connection becomes a little bit different. You're not just viewing people as like close a sale all the time. Like,
well, and then the turnover rate's probably so high there.
Crazy high.
Yeah.
Crazy high.
Even the trainer turnover rate's always been really big.
I would imagine even more so. Because like, once you figure out what your value is,
you leave.
You're out.
If you're legit, you dip.
Straight up.
Yeah.
You may start there just so you kind of get an idea of how you like what the general population looks like or what people's desires are. But once you got a handle on who you like to work with and what you like to do, peace.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Well,
like, I never did the corporate world, so I don't really know like what a corporate gym feels like or what that pressure is like to show up every day and kind of make that sale and be basically kind of forced onto people.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean? Like they signed up for a gym membership and they got 3 free sessions and like now they're with me.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine. You know what I
mean?
And
then you don't even know what that person's looking for.
Correct.
So now you're just running them through the gauntlet, and you're like, okay. And then then that trainer has to be like, he can't even do half the things I'm asking him to do, maybe because he's not flexible enough or whatever
his
it
limitations may be. Yeah, like you have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
In a quote unquote assessment session. Yeah. And I've just heard some Albies and Drew kind of tell me some of their horror stories. And I'm just like, man, oh man, like more power to y'all but I think that makes them a better trainer.
For sure.
Right? Like now you have an opportunity to like come into this space and we can play whatever music we like. You can do
the vibe is whatever you want.
Whatever you want to make it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's personal training, so sometimes it's gonna be a little country song over here, and other times it's gonna be some super ratchet rap music.
Yeah.
Like, but we get to create that vibe and we get to create that energy. And we're all the same persons, you know what I mean? And I think that's been the funnest part about it all is now it's no longer just Adam showing up to a
which is hard. I'll tell you this, man. Like I'm hoping 2021 kind of brings me like listening to what you're making me really jealous right now because that's what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for like same thing, right? Like people that just vibe really well because even though I love doing this, it's sometimes hard to show up every day alone.
Correct.
I mean, like I have Adrian and I have a few people like that don't work in real estate, work in my office. So at least there's bodies.
Correct.
But there's a lot of times it's me alone.
It's just you
or the idea is like, okay, like it's not Adrian's job to figure out how to keep this company going.
Absolutely.
No one else does. So it's like, okay, what's a new idea? What's the next thing we do? Yes. So I'm looking for like that same thing, like just that like crew.
For sure.
To roll in. Like when I first got in the industry, I had a crew.
Yes.
We were younger.
Yep.
And it was so much fun, energetic and crazy and exciting. And it kind of got loose. Everyone kind of went their own direction. I kind of the one that stuck it out. But like that crew of like people who are good at their job, that you can be proud of that say like these people work in my office. Like that's the goal. Absolutely. I think for any company, to be honest.
I think that's the key is finding those folks that know what they're good at. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, they know their value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as the kind of overseer of the company, like I need to identify and know what those folks are good at so that they can do those tasks. You know what I mean? And replication of ourselves is hard. You know what I mean? And trusting folks to be able to give them the freedom of your baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very tough.
Do you think it's kind of nice, based on like kind of seeing those guys, like for you, like everyone knows that you're the face of the company, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's something that struggles up in our world is people like, well, I don't want to be in the shadow of someone.
Yes.
But do you think like, personally, I don't think anyone's in my shadow. You work here, you don't work here. That's your choice if you want to decide if you're in my shadow or not.
Correct.
Do you feel like the trainers at your spot, because you guys are working with all different people, like they're kind of the own brand in that area?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I wanted them to feel. And when I started this, I wanted folks to know that this is your space as much as it's my space. Like, don't even introduce me as the owner. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even want that because I'm going to be here on the floor with you, rocking alongside you. You own this space just as much as I own this space. And I feel like that makes you work a little bit more with a little more intent.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because you don't feel like, oh, this person's getting the glory. Like, no, that's you, man. You did that. Mm-hmm. Whatever equipment is here, you did that. You made that happen, and you made that person believe in what you taught them, and that's how they're getting the results. So our ultimate goal is always just make sure you get the results, but this is your space too.
Yeah.
You know, there's no Adam owns this. Nah, this is, we all
Sadly,
collectively
I think
own
we're like
space.
the same way. I'm like, I don't want people to know, because it's like,
No.
no, do your thing, dude. Like, I don't
Absolutely.
want people bugging me. I got my own thing going over here.
For sure.
I don't want someone telling me the bathroom's broken,
Yes.
or the water fountain's not working.
Yes.
I don't know who the owner is, but when I find him, I'll tell him.
let him know.
Yeah, exactly. He's not in right now. I don't think people really, when you're the owner, you really don't want people to know you're the owner.
Not really.
One of my buddies growing up, like, I hit him up for something. He owns a motorcycle shop up in the desert.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I bought that for the company. I'm like, whoa. You bought it? He's like, yeah, I own this shop. And I go, you do? I said, I've never seen you post it. I say, do you think I want people knowing I own a shop?
Yeah.
So then they hit me up for discount
For
parts.
this, that, and the
yeah.
other.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, hook me up. Give me a discount. He's like,
Yes.
I want people to think I'm the assistant manager. I don't even
sure.
want to be the manager.
I don't want a manager title.
No, I'm the assistant to the assistant manager. He's like,
For
I don't
sure.
want anyone to know I'm the owner. He's not. He goes, that's not the ego kick. That's not
Correct.
the main goal. The main goal is to sell parts.
Absolutely.
So if I'm,
It's just to be the product.
it's
man.
just be the product.
Yep,
So
that's it.
2021, obviously 2020 was a crazy year.
Yes.
What's the goal for this year? Growth, ideas,
Ooh, man.
anything?
So our big goal is to really kind of start this expansion into the back and get some outside space. That's kind of been the big go-to. I missed that coming from the house.
Yeah.
Having the turf back there and being able to get these kids like in some cleats and just move around a little bit more freely and some gear that they're accustomed to playing in.
Yeah.
Coach Jimmy's been rocking with the baseball crew, so maybe try to get some cages back there for him. But again, the growth is more so just kind of expand into like the school districts.
Yeah.
Kind of do a little bit more like seminar, cross-educational teaching type stuff. But as far as the gym and training, I think we're just kind of we're
Keep it on the
good
same.
status quo. Maybe, like I said, get a little bit more team just because that's what we did miss out on in 2020. But man, we've really been tremendously blessed. Like, quite honestly, I can't even sit here and say like this was a super bum year with regards to like what our earning potentials were. So yeah, it's let's keep growing and kind of continuing the good positive community vibes, and here we are.
Awesome,
man.
dude.
2021.
I'll tell you what, Adam, you're one of my favorite people in the world, and it sucks to me that I don't get to talk to you often.
Hey.
Because the vibe, when people realize the vibe of Adam is unbelievable,
Man, I
and
appreciate
hats off to you, because the mindset that you have is, I truly believe, is why you are where you are. And I think a lot of people need to if you listen to one thing in this podcast, it's just listen to the positivity at all times. And it's easy to get negative.
Yeah.
It's easy not to get out of bed sometimes. It's
For sure.
easy. But when you realize, like, okay, this is what I got to do, you do it.
You do it.
You do it. And you show up and you go and do it.
Correct.
And that's what sucks so hard this year, that it was like, someone's telling me I can't do what I do.
Yes.
What do I go do then? If I gotta move.
I have to do this.
I have to move.
Yeah,
I have to
I
be
have to
moving
do this.
forward. Like, I gotta go do this. And so it was tough mentally for a lot of us.
Yeah,
where
there
it was
were
like
some
there were
dark
some
days.
dark days, dude.
Yeah,
I'll say it on the pod. I don't care. There were
Yeah.
some days where it was like, well, it's 12. And I can't even go meet with or show a house. Well, I guess a movie and a bottle of wine, and we'll see what time
Yeah.
I get to. You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
And it's
I
like,
totally get it. There were some days, Adam, that were like, okay.
I was like, I can leave in my van. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I could put a bed in the van.
Yeah.
The dogs could.
We could turn it all
Yeah,
out.
but turn it on. Okay, I got enough money in savings to turn my van into a place I could live.
Yes.
I can go live in someone's backyard or something.
Man.
Dude,
There were some decisions that,
Yeah.
that were definitely, pondered over.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just glad that we didn't step away from something that we've worked so very
For
hard
sure.
to achieve. And now hindsight is always going to be 2020. You know what I mean? So it's like we did what we could
For sure.
in those moments.
Yeah.
And did the best that we could with what we had.
100%. So how's everyone get a hold of you, find you?
Boom. You can check us out, Instagram, Animal House Fitness. Okay. We are also online at animalhouse.fitness. And I can also be reached at adam@animalhouse.fitness.
All right.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, man. Remember, guys, this is what's good in Riverside. So Adam would not be on here if he's not one of the best trainers in the game, even outside of Riverside. So go check him out. He's the greatest. His crew's awesome. So until next time, guys, peace.
Peace.